Hi there and welcome. My name is Disha and I'm going to be sharing my critical reflection on my emerging leadership identity as a future early childhood teacher. As a graduating student, I realized that the development of a professional identity is a very personal, ongoing process. So today, I will share my personal leadership model, but my core commitment to children, families, and colleagues within our steering frameworks. Explore how these ideas play out in daily practice and reflect on how my understanding of professional advocacy has grown and evolved. So, moving on. I strongly agree with the distributed leadership model as the grounding for my emerging practice. Historically, some early childhood centers have had taken on a strict corporate hierarchical structure, with one director holding all the decision making power. But with distributed leadership, is the power we have as a shared practice in our team, not as an administrative title. It's more about sharing the load, talking openly, and teamwork, basically. This approach also directly relates to Quality Area 7 of the NQS National Quality Framework, which states that effective governance and leadership is very essential in establishing a collaborating learning community. By distributing leadership, we can ensure that every educator, whether a room leader, an assistant, or a student teacher, feels empowered to share their individual strengths, to take initiative in their rooms, and to contribute directly to our ongoing quality improvement. So, moving on. The application of a distributed leadership guides my professional and ethical commitment as a future early childhood teacher. This approach is also highlighted in the Early Childhood Australia Code of Ethics. I, coming from my commitment to children based on their defense of their rights and respect for their active agency. The early years learning framework sees children as capable and confident co constructors of their own learning. And I promise to make their voices, choices, and ideas visible in our daily curriculum. Secondly, I am dedicated to families through genuine mutual partnerships. Even the NQS acknowledges that families are a child's first and most influential educators. Therefore, I pledge to communicate honestly and with all transparency while respecting and celebrating diverse family structures and backgrounds and cultural knowledge. Finally, I'm dedicating to help my colleagues to help facilitate teamwork and shared responsibility as well. I pledge to listen to my peers and be open to mutual mentoring in a distributed leadership environment. I believe an educator is more than his or her job title, and I promise to make sure every voice is heard and valued in our everyday work. Moving on, let's take a look at the a couple of real world examples that happen every day of how these practices and ideas come into work. Firstly, think about planning the daily curriculum. In a conventional setting, the supervisor would be handing down a ready made program for the week. In my work, a distributed approach means holding weekly programming meetings with the room leader and the assistant educator sitting next to each other. We then collaborate to co design an emergent curriculum based on our perspectives and share our observations of the children's spontaneous play. This is a direct reflection of the EYLF principle of collaborative partnerships, and this ensures the program is authentic and responsive to the children. Second example could be think about how we handle professional disagreement. If my co educator and I disagree on a classroom routine, example risk taking in a outdoor play, I will not just push my idea. Instead, I will start a collaborative reflection session. In this, together, we will open the ECA Code of Ethics, look at our responsibilities to keep children safe while supporting their right to challenge themselves under the EYLF and build a shared consistent as a team. This will help transform a simple disagreement into a collective ethical learning opportunity. Moving on, my personal definition of leadership has changed a lot thinking about the process of my own learning. Before this unit, I thought that leadership was just a position of authority for only the most senior directors. I thought leadership was about managing people and having all the answers. My studies actually have totally transformed this perspective. I have learned that leadership is in our daily interaction, our relationships, and our advocacy for the rights of children. Coming in as a new professional, I know one of my biggest challenges will be joining pre-existing teams that may have rigid or different philosophies of education. But moving forward, I hope to work through these challenges through active empathetic listening and inquiry with the ECA code of ethics as the lens through which we work. I'm dedicated to developing as a highly reflective, ethical, and collaborative leader who advocates for children, families, and our profession. Moving on, these were the references I used in my PPT. And thank you for listening to me. Have a good day. Thanks.